Hi friends, welcome back to another episode of Generation Tech. My name is Alan. Today I want to give you guys a little bit of dating advice because my expansive knowledge of Star Wars has really made me desirable with the opposite sex. See, 3.9% of the Generation Tech audience is female, give or take 1% because of the dudes pretending to be chicks. With just over 770,000 unique viewers a month, our channel has 30,000 females watching us, give or take a few hundred Larrys and Bobs. That's 29,999 more girls than I talked to in high school. Now sure, that might just be a one-way form of communication, but isn't that the key to any solid Victorian-era relationship? Now in all seriousness, we've all thought about this at least once or twice. What would it be like to date our favorite Jedi? Maybe you have daddy issues and you're into Qui-Gon Jinn, or maybe you're a huge Han Solo fan and want to just get closer to him by getting close to his daughter Jaina. Or maybe you're really attracted to potatoes and Ki-Adi-Mundi is your style. Well, I'm here to say no, don't do it, because dating a Jedi is really not worth it. Here are 10 reasons why. Like a lifelike rubber Japanese love doll, a Jedi will never reciprocate that love and affection you give to them. You see, the Jedi are supposed to completely remove themselves from their emotions. They're supposed to maintain a Zen-like state of calm at all times. Like getting a tattoo on her face or joining ISIS, or in the case of one specific Jedi, cutting off Samuel Jackson's arm and then murdering several small children with a laser sword. But despite all the crazy things that love makes us want to do, we still kind of want it, right? So what's the point of being in a relationship with someone who can't accept love?
You can't accept love?
Isn't that why we enter a relationship in the first place? To feel
Love, the most beautiful, shining, warmy thing in the world? You can't accept it?
So that is a pretty big problem, but not every Jedi will refuse to love you. Not every Jedi can resist the temptation that is so deeply imprinted into everything we are. But even if you do manage to find one of these very special Jedi rebels, what then? Do you want to have children? Because that's forbidden. Do you want to be able to go out into public as a couple? Well, that's also forbidden. You will forever be that guy, let's call him Steve, who brags about his super hot Jedi girlfriend, but will never be able to prove that she exists. Because once the Jedi Order finds out, they will be banned forever. Which, to be honest, isn't necessarily the worst thing to happen. A Jedi working in the private sector can make a lot of money, especially if they start robbing banks or become a professional athlete. Now, it's kind of unfortunate that the Jedi Order during the Clone Wars era banned love and relationships, because it wasn't always like that. In the past, Jedi were able to marry and have families. And as we've all learned from Fast and Furious,
I got family.
What's family?
It's family.
Your family.
The family.
And your family.
family is everything. Relationships nowadays are all about balance. Gone are the days when men could just sneak up behind the woman they like, club her over the head with a tree branch, and then drag her back into their man cave. Well, actually, that still kind of happens in Kyrgyzstan. They got that instead of Tinder. But yeah, things have changed a lot in this modern world. Everything is about balance, doing your fair share of the work in your relationship. And it is confusing as hell, especially for some men. Some men grew up understanding that they were supposed to be the one who provides for their family. But let's be honest, I remember what school was like. All my male friends were complete degenerates and they didn't really care about school at all. But all the girls, they had like a laser-like focus on getting educated. Well, except for Susie. Susie just was focused on cake. So more than ever now, we have relationships where women are earning more than men. And yeah, some of us get really confused by it, maybe even upset. Although some of us are really enjoying staying at home playing video games and fantasy football all day while our powerful CEO wives are bringing home a 7-digit salary. Hashtag sugar mama, hashtag make gender equality work in your favor. But again, some people are bothered by this. Now imagine if your other half not only has a better profession than you, but they also have superpowers. They have the ability to use the Force to do all sorts of crazy things like move items around, control someone like a sock puppet, or even become a Force ghost. Yeah, so when you die, they're not going to be buried right next to you in that plot that you guys brought way too prematurely, by the way. Their body is going to fade away, and they'll be able to wander some mystic realm while worms are eating your corpse. Wouldn't that make you jealous? So yeah, your partner is a Jedi, a super being who is a part of one of the most exclusive clubs in the entire galaxy, the Jedi Order. Like a country club membership or dwarfism, it's not something that you earn, but something you're born into. And no matter how hard you try in life, no matter how successful your HoloTube channel is, you'll only just be an accessory for that very famous and awesome Jedi. And when they have secret meetings about how the fate of the universe is in their hands, you won't be invited. I mean, why do you, an ordinary person, have to know that the Sith have infiltrated the highest levels of our government and now are using your hard-earned money to fund a giant battle station designed to destroy you in case you don't pay your taxes? You'll never get closer than a Jedi is to his or her master because they can read each other's minds. And consequently, they'll be able to read your mind as well. Of course, they're going to promise you that they won't do it, but you know they will. I mean, it's way too tempting. And some people, they radiate emotions and thoughts that can be detected by people who aren't force sensitive. So forget birthday surprises or any surprises. And God forbid you cheat on them or make fun of their attempt to make a second income by opening an Etsy website. They'll feel the pain in their hearts, even if they're thousands of miles away. So as you can see, when one person can read another person's mind, that creates some serious issues in a relationship. Now the other thing that's going to really suck is that your Jedi is going to be gone all the time. During the Clone Wars, the Jedi Knights were constantly on the front lines fighting one battle immediately after another. When Padme was pregnant, Anakin wasn't around to experience sympathy pain and gain sympathy weight. He was just busy running around the Outer Rim trying to save the galaxy. And that's just something Padme had to deal with. No matter how much she loved Anakin, she realized that Anakin wasn't hers. Anakin belonged to the galaxy that he served. Or the ancient Sith Lord that is literally possessing him because he decided to open up some ancient evil tomb. And despite the fact that your Jedi is a superhuman, it's only natural to worry about their well-being. After all, they are mortal. And no matter how much you need them to open up that jar of capers, which you accidentally spilled olive oil on and now is impossible to get a grip on, you can't in good conscience project an image of yourself dying so that they'll come running to help you. Because there is the possibility that they were holding the Staten Island ferry together. And now your lack of grip strength and self-control has killed hundreds of people from Staten Island. Which should bother you, by the way. Most of us really hate it when telemarketers phone our house asking for something, or Girl Scouts ring the doorbell trying to peddle their product to us. So imagine how annoying it will be if everyone knows you're dating a Jedi. All of a sudden, all your friends are going to be asking you for favors, from mundane things like, hey, can you do a Jedi mind trick on my husband so he doesn't leave the toilet seat up all the time? Or hey, can your Jedi girlfriend assassinate the head of Senior Fleet Systems so I can do a little bit of insider trading with her competition? I imagine this would make you loathe going to social events and make relationships with your friends a bit awkward. Now ladies, if you think your house gets dirty when your boyfriend comes home from a camping trip, well imagine what happens when your Jedi Knight comes home from Malachor with a Sith holocron and forgets to put it in that special ancient artifact safe. All of a sudden you're having vividly terrifying nightmares every night and you're bursting into strange tongues randomly during conversations with your friends. And before you know it, you've got a death cult living in your walk-in closet and some seriously sketchy looking evil spirit stains on your carpet. Whatever problems you would deal with in a normal relationship, just supersize that when you're living with a Jedi. Not only are Jedi going to be bringing dangerous objects to your home, they're probably also going to put you in danger as well. It might not be easy to kill or trick a Jedi, but what about kidnapping someone they love and using them as a pawn in their evil, villainous schemes? I mean, look what happened to Padme. Oh yeah, you think she died from a broken heart? No, Palpatine exploded her heart using the Force from long distance. It's obvious. When you date someone as powerful as a Jedi, you're also developing a relationship with their very powerful enemies. Although Jedi seem to rack up quite a high kill count on the reg, they still seem to follow a very strict moral code, and they'll shove it into your face all the time. Imagine if every time you got into a fight they pull some line like, "There is no emotion, there's only peace." I mean, that would piss you off, right? I mean, it doesn't even make any sense. And even worse, if you have children and they happen to be Force sensitive, well, you could say goodbye to them. That kid, he's gonna convert to Jediism, even if it breaks your Sith grandmother's heart. Because if you try to hide that baby, there's going to be some serious consequences. During certain periods of the Jedi Order, the Jedi would eliminate babies that they couldn't get their hands on because they were afraid that the Sith would get them instead. During other periods, babies would just get snatched away and you would never see them again. Now, I might disagree with a lot of things that the Jedi Order does, but I do agree with their view on extreme emotions. It takes a very mentally strong individual not to fall to the dark side. And the Jedi recruiting process is about as selective as a hungry Wookiee on the moon of Endor. That's how you have mental cases like Anakin slipping through the cracks. If the Jedi Order had any semblance of a screening process, that kid would have set off alarms immediately. Especially if you found out that people were just dropping dead around him every time he got angry. And that's what you have to deal with in your relationship with a Jedi. And the ironic thing is the fact that they have decided to love you means that they don't have the discipline to follow their Jedi code, which is really there to protect all of us. And should they turn to the dark side, you have some very important decisions to make. If you say no, you then become the victim of Jedi domestic abuse. Or if you do say, yes, I will join you, you probably will become an accomplice to genocide. Either way, you're going to be damaged goods. So guys, those are the reasons why you should never date a Jedi. But at the end of the day, love is love. Whether it's with a Jedi or a Wookiee, or for some of us, inanimate objects that vaguely resemble the shape of a human being. Love is a force to be reckoned with. So no matter how much I warn you about how terrible an idea having a relationship with the Jedi is, if you have your mind set to it, you're most likely going to do it anyway. Because that's what it means to be a human. Because when we follow our hearts, we do crazy, stupid things, and it's beautiful to watch. It's what makes us human. And it's also probably the only way we'll be able to determine the difference between humans and androids that are flooding our society. Well guys, thanks for watching our video today. We here at Generation Tech pride ourselves on answering questions that you don't even want to know the answer of. Also, don't forget to check out our second channel called Generation Films, and it's basically the same thing as what we do here, but about other movies. Also, we upload every day. We don't upload Generation Tech, so if you can't get enough of our content, subscribe to that channel. Also, subscribe to this channel if you haven't already. Thanks for joining us today. If you're watching this, you are Generation Tech.